Keep me a secret.
In the beginning, when asked where you wanted to be in 5 years, Justin responded, I don't know, but I just wanted to be big enough to where we could wake up, drink Jack Daniels, and snort coke for breakfast. Have you reached that point yet?
In reference to Justin's prior statements, it should be taken as a joke. I actually don't eat breakfast, so therefore I would need to snort coke for it. I don't know. I think 5 years ago we would have said the same thing we say now, which is just kind of being able to sustain what we're doing, especially in a time like this, as it's tough to stay afloat for a lot of bands. So we're lucky enough to kind of still have our head above the water a little bit.
Now, back when the Black EP was released, it was intended to be a free sampler of sorts, right?
It's a...
Well, the Black EP was actually... We do this whole thing where we release EPs kind of to showcase the beginnings of songs before they're done. And the Black EP was one of those. And it's just kind of show the creative process and where a song starts and where it can go or where it ends up. Like, some songs don't change at all, and some songs you would never be able to tell that was the original song, as, you know, the one that made it on the record.
From what I read, Capitol Records didn't want you guys to give it away for free. Is that not true?
For the Black EP, we always intend to sell the EPs, because obviously we have to make money. It costs money to make them. But no, we just kind of, like, within the way that our band's made up, EPs are a part of it. Like, we've released the White EP, which is translated in the name. That was like the first taste of Saosin. The Black EP was the first taste of Cove being in the band. And then the Gray EP, which we just released about a year ago, was just more new music that we were showcasing of the record that just came out. In Search of Solid Ground came out in September. Well, Saosin, as far as charities are concerned, whenever we can donate, whether it's time, money, or anything, exposure, we do. We've worked with the Red Cross for collecting money for the wildfires back in 2007, and we also have done a lot of work with Invisible Children. We just recently, about a year ago, did a collaboration shirt with an artist named Greg Simpkins and Hurley, the clothing company, and then Saosin. We did like a retail t-shirt where majority of the proceeds actually went to Invisible Children. We've done a bunch of events with Skate for Cancer, which is a friend of ours up in Canada named Rob. He skates around the country, actually the world now, and he just teaches people about cancer awareness and how to catch signs of cancer early.
I mean, we've always, from the very beginning, we've always liked to self-produce things whenever we can. We've self-produced the Translating the Name EP, the Black EP, the Gray EP, 6 songs off of In Search of Solid Ground. When we first signed with Capitol Records, one of the cool things about going with them is that, I guess they made the resources available to be able to work with people that were, bigger than ourselves. So that was kind of we got to work with Howard Benson on our first record. And then on this record, we kind of got to do almost whatever we wanted, John Feldman was a fan of our band from the very beginning, and we had always kind of wanted to work with him. And we had some songs that we felt like he would do a really good job on. So we asked him to do a couple songs, and then as well as Butch Walker, we're all big fans of him. So it was like we got to do whatever we wanted to do. We got to do our own, so we could kind of do whatever we wanted on certain songs, and then we went to them to get their spin on the song. So it worked out really well.
As far as our album art was concerned on our last record, we decided to change it last minute, and it was for a good reason. Some may ask if it was significant, if there was significance behind it, and I think there was a little bit too much significance, and I think that's what was the problem. It was there was too many colors in the palette. When you mix all the colors, what do you get? You get mud and brown and black, and that's kind of what happened. But it was for a good reason, and it came out better, and we're more stoked on it. And I think it speaks more about what the record means to us than what maybe previously we thought the original artwork was going to say. For the video for Changing, we worked with a director by the name of Steven Schuster, and he's pretty new to the music video world. He started out in commercials, and I think he was doing like some weird like video game spots or something. I don't remember what he was doing, but yeah, it was a really good. It's good to work with. Like, we work really well on like a ground level as far as like making things happen with not a lot of money involved, and Steven works the same way. We shot a lot of the video using standard handheld digital SLR cameras, a Canon 5D Mark II. So a lot of the angles are just straight up point and shoot cameras, and so yeah, it was really cool to work with him, and we came out with a video that was cheap and it looks cool, and there's like a concept that runs through it, and even though it is a performance video.
Yeah, I remember making that video. I remember seeing probably like 3 or 4 guys with basically still cameras, digital SLRs, and I'm like, wow, there's like all these guys just taking our picture, and there's only one guy with like a real music video camera, and then I'm like, what are these guys doing here? They're like, oh, those are actually the real cameras, and I was like, really? But it ended up turning out really awesome, as you can tell. In the past, it normally takes. I think somebody on our message board actually did the math as far as how long it takes us to get one song complete. So you figure it's 10. I think it's like 10, 11 songs on a record. 12 months in the year. It takes us 36 months to put out a whole another 10 songs. So it's like basically takes us 3 months for every song. But yeah, no, I think on In Search of Solid Ground, I think we're going to try to, get the touring done, get in and get out. And I think from here on out, we're going to try to, not wait so long to put records out. But part of it comes with us too, we keep getting offered really cool tours, and when people come to you and say, hey, would you like to go to Singapore and, play with Incubus, for like huge crowd, you're just like, okay, well, I guess we'll take a break from recording to go do that. We just keep getting offered really, really great opportunities, and we're suckers for doing cool shows and cool tours, and but I think we're gonna try to try to bust our butts a little bit harder, and we also have a really high quality control when it comes to us. We really don't try to put anything out unless we're proud of it, and I think that's important. That's something that we kind of pride ourselves on. I think there's kind of, there's always struggles whenever you're writing songs, especially with, we have, there's always kind of like Cove, Chris, and Beau, and there's kind of all the 3 of us, and we're all kind of, most of the time we're pulling in different directions as far as what we want to do. It's like, even musically, it's like, I want to make it sound like this. Chris wants to sound this way, and then there's Cove, and he wants to sound it a totally different way. So there's always a struggle. I think you could probably say that about every song. And that's kind of what makes our band cool. Also, is because, if everyone in our band, just loved Metallica, we would sound like Metallica. And I think that's what kind of gives us our own sound.
You fall apart and then you stop. You fall apart and then you stop.